Okay. Okay, I'd like to call the meeting of District 721 to order, and we'll do a roll call for, because we're online. Mark?
Here.
Leo?
Here.
Matt?
Here.
Dennis?
Here.
Kim?
Here.
Tammy?
Here.
Jean here. Please note that all board members are here. Okay, we won't do the pledge online. Do we have any open forum people? Janelle?
No, there's not, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Could I have someone make a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved, Dennis Havlicek.
Second, Tammy Pexa.
Okay. All those in favor, Mark?
Aye.
Leo?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Dennis?
Aye.
Kim?
Aye.
Tammy?
Aye.
Jean? Aye. Motion carried. And then could I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So move, Mark.
Second, Leo.
Second, Kim.
Okay, all those in favor, Mark?
Aye.
Leo?
Aye.
Matt? Dennis?
Aye.
Kim? Tammy?
Aye.
Jean? Aye. Motion carried. Okay, next is committee reports, policy. Did not meet.
Nothing. Nothing. No, we did not meet.
Okay, Southwest Metro. Denny?
Southwest Metro had their meeting before Thanksgiving, and it was a typical meeting. Talked a lot about the Dean Lakes purchase as that keeps moving forward. We had reports from the different programs, and they all seem to be doing well. Of course, everybody's doing well moving to distance learning, but that's the way it goes. Otherwise, it was a good meeting.
Okay, how about CPAC?
No meeting since the last month.
Okay. Sorry, did anyone have any questions for Denny? On those, on the Southwest? Okay, community ed?
They did not meet.
Okay, wellness?
Wellness did not meet either.
Okay, and early childhood did not meet. Mark, do you have any updates on the fitness and aquatic center?
They met. I wasn't there. I believe the only people working at the fitness center yet are Megan.
Okay.
But
We actually
that's
have,
about all I have.
yeah, it's Megan and a half-time of Chuck and Heather, the swim club coach and the pool person. That's who we have
Okay.
working right now. Yep.
Is the pool still open for certain things or?
No.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it can be open for some training activities.
Oh,
So
training,
they're gonna do some training, some recertification of lifeguards, but it's basically closed other than that.
Okay. Okay, and now we have the superintendent's report.
Yes, well recovered from COVID now. Actually, the Southwest Metro meeting I was part of with Denny, that's when I first had my first symptoms. I had backaches, but that's what I remember from that meeting. I don't remember much else, Denny, but so anyway, yeah, my wife and I are doing well now and then back at work, so things are good. Just some things coming up here. On Wednesday this week, December 2nd, we have an early release. The 2-hour early release, that was part of the governor's order to get more planning time for teachers in the hybrid and distance learning model, along with, we have a full day planning day on Monday, December 7th, so 1 week from today. Positive COVID cases for the 2-week period, November 1st and 14th, so that is the most recent one. And remember, there's a little bit of a lag because of cases coming in. But on November 14th, as you know, sort of our threshold for distance learning for K-12 is 50 positive cases during that 2-week period per 10,000 people. We're well over that in all 3 of our counties. Rice County has, during that time period from November 1st to 14th, had 202 cases. Scott County, 151, and LeSueur County, 145. So as you can see, the positive COVID cases keep rising, and they're expecting to go even higher next week. So that's all we have to say. The only thing I would say is that, I mean, we're still hopeful, even though we're entering the holiday phase and people being more indoors, and we've got the whole travel issue, that they will hopefully come down towards the end of December there. And so we can get back to school in person, but we'll have to wait and see. With that, what's sort of strange is when you go distance learning K-12, we kept the preschool going. We have about 300 kids in preschool right now. We had a survey asking parents what they wanted to do, if they wanted to keep their kids in preschool, or if they wanted to keep them home and then hold the cost of preschool, or else go distance learning. I think we had 5 that chose distance learning at a reduced cost. Another 5 or 6 that put their preschool cost at hold and kept their students at home, and almost 300 chose to stay in preschool. So that's what you have. We have over 150 kids in Kids Company, which is our daycare wrap program. And so the schools are, we've got them all at Ravenstream and Eagleview. And so with Kids Company, so it's, we got, separating the kids as best we can. And I know our teachers and paraprofessionals have been doing a great job with them. So we'll be at distance learning till the holiday break, which will be about 3.5 weeks. So on the week of December 21st, we'll make a decision on what we're going to be doing when we come back to school on after the break on January 4th, and see what happens there. We're also doing sending letters home via email to high school parents now, and then it'll be later for elementary, middle school, finding out what people want to do in regards to whether they want to continue distance learning or going back. We really need to know that in the high school, and the deadline is for this Friday, so we can they can be able to organize their classes. I don't, Maren, do you have anything else to comment on that? She's sort of heading that effort.
Yeah, really, the high school is needing to plan their second semester schedule. So this is actually as late as we could go. We know it'll be hard for some families to make the decision now, but we need a baseline of information just to really see where families are at. And in terms of if we have families switching over to distance learning, or families who are currently enrolled to distance learning and wanting to switch back in. And so the information to our K-8 families will go later next week, and could impact some staffing there as well.
And that's all I have.
I have a question for Tim. How is the staff doing for the preschool? Have you had a lot of people needing quarantine, or not being able to make it to work or whatever? How's that going?
Well, Maren, you get the list of people. You want to comment on the staffing part of it?
Yeah, our preschool has been pretty stable. The staffing of the childcare has been, at times difficult, just with the number of people that need to continue to be quarantined. And so we monitor that day by day, just like we were 2 weeks ago when we had full kids and full staff in the building. I would say that part really has not settled down like we maybe thought that it would. There's still quite a bit of staff contact tracing happening. Jen Cheneker is still working round the clock with staff on their questions as they come in terms of, should they be reporting, should they not, what to do. So that piece really has not settled down. But all in all, we're still able to provide the programming that we are able to, but certainly that could change quickly if we run into continued issues.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, then the next item is the approval of the world's best workforce presentation.
All right, I will present my screen for this. All right, so our world's best workforce certainly looks different than it has in past years. And this is a required review that we put together and have to submit to MDE. And they again required it for this past year, knowing all of the trials and tribulations of how the year ended. So the review is actually pretty short this year, simply because many of our goals we were not able to provide final data on. And so here you'll see the early learning goals here are listed. And again, we're thinking back to last fall of when these goals were created and then comparing actually the year prior. So sometimes it's hard to think back so far, particularly this year with everything that has happened. However, all the directors and principals were great in just being creative with what we could report. So here the 3 goals are presented to you for early learning. And we were only able to provide data on the 3rd goal regarding the booklet for kindergarten entry expectations. So the other 2 goals were not able to be fully analyzed because of COVID. And so when reporting this to MDE, they simply asked us to state unable to report due to COVID for any of our goals, that we were not able to provide that end of year measure. We were not doing any type of standardized testing with students last spring. We are now this year able to do some testing specific to our fast bridge assessments that we run K-8. And I can't speak to the early learning if they're able to do some of the assessments remotely, but we are working to adapt slightly, but it certainly isn't the same. Goal 2 is all 3rd graders can read at grade level. And both of these goals were tied to assessments that we were not able to complete again due to COVID. And so we have no results for those specific literacy goals. For racial and economic achievement gaps, these goals again were tied to MCAs, which we were not able to complete. So we are unable to report these goals as well. Career and college readiness, these goals are aligned to our 8th graders and their MCA performance. So likewise, we are not able to report on that information. And then the last goal is on graduation, and we can report on this one. The goal was 97%. And our goal at this time is tentatively not met based on our preliminary graduation data. We were just short of that, rounding into be 96%. So MDE actually does not report on our graduation data for a few more months. And so that's why this is tentatively not met. And then I just wanted to highlight the goals that we set as a district this past fall. And again, it was a challenge simply for many reasons. One reason was really our focus and energy was really being put into planning for the school year. And this summer, every day was there was something new coming out. And so we created with the principals, and then the principals then share these goals with their building leadership teams. And then this really drives the building goals that they have all created. So here you'll see the district goals that we will plan to work toward. Right now, assessments for the spring will really be dependent on if we will be in person or not, specific to the MCAs, which will be for grades 3 through 8 and 10 and 11. So they, right now, the MCAs are really in the Department of Education's hands, and so we're waiting for more guidance from them. And then you'll also see we have a graduation rate goal, and then also goal number 3, students will feel welcome and respected within their school's learning environment. We added this year in working with Gospel and his team, the equitable opportunity for inclusive learning. And so this is new this year. We have not had this layer in years past. And so this is something too that all of the buildings received as they are continuing to work on their building goals for the school year as well. So we are hopeful that we will be able to provide some clear results at the end of this school, but a lot of that is unknown simply because of the year that we are having. So that is our report. And does anyone have any questions?
Martin, I'll pop in here. So can you provide a little feedback to people that might be watching about why this is put together, why these goals are in place? Is there any funding that is tied to this or anything like that that you might be able to provide just more general information about this, just because a lot of these weren't met this year, and see if there's any impact on what's going to happen in the future?
Sure. So we're not penalized for not meeting any of the goals. We're also not given any incentives for meeting the goals in any typical year. And so the 5 areas they're state driven, if you will. And so within take college and career readiness, there's a lot of different interpretations of that goal. And so one area that we typically use our 8th grade MCAs for the college and career readiness, partly because we have there's strong guidelines from the state regarding early learning for that first goal. Then there's strong guidelines regarding 3rd grade literacy, and then there's strong guidelines around graduation. And so with the college and career readiness, we want to really include that middle school piece because we know it's such a critical piece of students' lives and ensuring that they're ready for high school. And so that's just a quick example, but there's not funding tied to these goals. These are, like I said, they're state driven. And then as a district, we have to then create the specific SMART goals that go under each category. Some years we have multiple goals under each category. Some years we just have one. It's really dependent on, the data that we're seeing and the data that we're analyzing. Also tied to our district goals. Those change every so often. From this year to last year, the biggest piece was that the equity lens and in adding that. But we didn't really change the other 3 goals simply because we weren't able to really get a full grasp of last year. So we're hopeful, and we're also looking at are there different data points that we could use? We've in years past, we've used ACT as another potential indicator. And so, trying to reflect on what are other ways that we can measure some of these goals is really important because we know that not everything should be tied to these standardized tests either. As opt-out numbers continue to increase too, we're always trying to discuss what type of data really represents our system as a whole, where we're getting the most, really the reflection of all of our students and what they're bringing day in and day out. Does that help? Kind of?
Yes, that's great. That's helpful just because it provides a little more background on the program, on the goals.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I skimmed over the first couple slides because again, this is, just something that I believe we've been working through this with the state since 2013, and there was actually a lot of discussion with other districts and just assessment leaders across the state if the state was even going to require this report this year, knowing that these year-end data points nobody was able to collect. And if they were, you know, depending on their data, how accurate is it when students are at home, not in their normal learning environment? How accurate is it? Are they getting extra help? Are they really completing it? So many factors. And so, but MDE is requiring us to report. And so, you know, just again, wanting to be reflective and just knowing that we still want to be continuing to achieve and reflecting in what we do. I think this year, just the priorities are a little bit different. And so, as they should be, there's just so many different factors that are going into this. And so, like I said, we really don't know what type of testing we'll be able to offer this spring. And you know, ACT is a really important one, and just continuing to monitor the guidelines. And so if we're able to offer that as time goes on, we are doing our FastBridge assessments. We can do those remotely. And so actually our distance learning specific to elementary, our kind of our original core of teachers and students that enrolled in distance learning K-5 back in the fall, they have been doing the FAST standardized assessments since September. And so they've been kind of paving the way for that and getting us kind of back into that swing, just so we have some data points on students, because we will need some of this hard data as we move forward for just, you know, whether it's large goals or even student by student for individual testing purposes. So I need your approval of the World's Best Workforce Plan tonight.
Could I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Dennis?
Second, Leo.
Okay, how do you vote, Mark? Okay, you got to unmute to vote. Mark? Mark, can you turn on your mute, turn off your mute, please?
Let's skip him for now.
Okay, Leo,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Jean, yes. Mark is still muted. Is anybody else able to unmute him?
Mark said yes.
He just said yes.
He just commented.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't watch my comments here. Okay.
That's okay, I watched for you.
Okay, motion passes 7-0. Our next item is approval of the revised district calendar.
Tim, we can't hear you.
Kind of like Mark. Yeah, it's we revised the calendar for the planning days changes according to the governor's order, and that's like in early releases that we're going to have now. So the first full planning day, like I said, is on December 7th, and then we got one coming up on the Tuesday in January after MLK Day. So we need to get that calendar approved again.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the revised school calendar?
I'll second.
Second, Mark.
Oh, Mark's back.
Okay, so how do you vote? Mark?
Yes.
Leo?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Dennis?
Aye.
Kim?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Jean, yes. Motion passes 7-0. Next item is a resolution, so I'll turn it over to Denny.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion to consider the resolution to accept a donation from the Duck Cup organization.
Texas so moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to consider the following resolution. Whereas the school board may accept a gift valued at $1,000 or more only by adoption of a resolution by 2/3 of the members. And whereas the Duck Cup wishes to donate $3,957 to the district for the purpose of purchasing the second step child protection curriculum. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the New Prague Area School Board of Education shall accept the donation with no conditions. How do you vote on this, Kim?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Jean?
Yes.
Leo?
Yes.
Dennis? Yes. Item passes 7-0.
Okay, and then we have another resolution designating polling places for 2021.
And this is in case we need to have an election of some type. It's not our schedule, but we have to do the formality of passing the resolution. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to consider the resolution establishing combined polling places for multiple precincts and designating hours during which the following places will remain open for voting for school district elections not held on the day of a statewide election. Do I have a motion?
So move, Mark.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded to considering the following resolution. Be it resolved by the School Board of District 721 that the following locations will be put in place for combined polling. St. Patrick's Social Hall, Jordan, Minnesota. Elko New Market Area Hall, Elko New Market, Minnesota. IC Church Civic Center, Lonsdale, Minnesota. Wheatland Town Hall, Vesely, Minnesota. New Prague Fitness and Aquatic Center, New Prague, Minnesota. And the other part of the resolution states that the polling places will be open pursuant to Minnesota statutes for voting for school district elections not held on the same day as the statewide election between the hours of 7 o'clock a.m. and 8 o'clock p.m. How do you vote on this, Jean?
Yes.
Leo?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Dennis? Yes, item passes 7-0.
Well, that completes our action and discussion items. Does anyone have anything further? Then can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Pexa.
Second, Holden.
Okay. How do you vote, Mark?
Probably yes.
Leo?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Jean? Yes. Motion carried. We are adjourned. Bye-bye, everybody.
I have a
Have a good
question for Janelle. Janelle, are you there yet?
Yes, I am.
Janelle, are there things for signing?
Yes, there are. So I emailed those to you earlier, Denny.
Mhm.